I think that the biggest difference that I see is that labor is becoming more and more scarce in the wine industry, especially California, and I know across the world. So it's harder to find people to do the job. It's harder to find people that want to do the job. So technology has become increasingly more important, not only to kind of support the labor team that is working, but also to try and make us more efficient to support sustainability. So it's a dual factor why we're trying to lean more heavily on technology compared to previous generations. But a big part of it is labor, and a big part of it is sustainability, and how can we continue to operate in a cleaner way that is less impactful to the environment. So I know that that's something I really focus on, is looking at different new technologies that are coming out that can really support a more efficient workplace, that makes it safer, easier, better, faster for our team so that they can get the job done with less, knowing that it's harder to find people to help them, to support us. Yeah, so sustainability to me just means that we are constantly striving for excellence. And I don't mean that in just the quality of our product, which is super important to us. We love to produce high quality, excellent products, but we want our workplace to be a source of excellence for our employees. We want them to be at home. So we want to be sustainable for our workforce. We want to be sustainable for our neighbors. We want to be a good neighbor, an excellent neighbor. We want to be excellent for the environment. Every day we want to continue to strive to be better rather than staying stagnant, staying the same. We want to be excellent for our financial reviews. We want to make sure that we are a stable business that can provide jobs, can provide refuge, can provide a source of happiness for people around the world. So if we can't control finances, if we can't be sustainable business model, then we can't continue to the next day to supply jobs, to supply wine, to have meaningful conversations with people. So it's so much more than just environmental excellence, which is of course top of our minds every day, but it's excellence all around. How can we be better every day? And I love that the California Sustainable Wine Growing Alliance actually pushes you to continue to think, how can I be better? Every year you have to show improvements on your sustainable score in order to continue to be certified. You can't stay still. You can't say, oh, great, I'm done. I'm sustainable now. You actually have to continue to improve every year. So it fits really well with how we already feel. So it's a really good fit for us to kind of join in with this organization to become certified. Had a lot of extreme weather. So we've had fires, we've had heat spells, we've had really cold springs, or like this year, for instance, it's been a cold, dry winter, and now it's a dry spring. Last year, it was a cold winter with no rain, and then we had a really wet spring. So it's like things that just that wasn't how it was in the past. So it's constantly taking a look at what's going on around you and seeing how you can improve. We've had a lot of late season heat spells, so we've removed less leaves during our leafing process to try and protect the fruit a little bit more so that we don't dehydrate right before we harvest. So it's just kind of taking into effect what's actually going on around you and making sure that you can adjust your cultural practices to suit what the climate has changed to. We've talked to a lot of different AI models that are doing like climate predictions, and we haven't settled on one yet, but we're still constantly looking at them because there's a lot of new technology coming out around that specifically, knowing that global warming is happening. So once we've kind of figured out which one works best for us, we're definitely going to be investing in that climate AI type of models so that we can try and predict what's coming. But for now, we're just trying to adjust our cultural practices based on how we've seen the last couple of years go. Like this year, we started irrigating a little bit earlier than we normally would because we haven't had any rain. We've had less than 5 inches, which inches, California, United States, dang it. But that's really light for us. I wish that we had a better understanding of yield tracking, and which could pair pretty well with like a climate AI model that's showing you how the climate is going to be in that next year, because you can pretty much adjust your yield estimations based on what the climate's actually doing. So yield has been just a source of pain for, I think, most growers. Cluster counts don't really work, and trying to figure it out as you're going can lead to a lot of issues in the winery later on. So that's something I'm hoping. There's a lot of technology going into that right now too. We've actually talked to 4 companies just in the last 2 months that are doing exactly that, with AI modeling plus camera applications. And I know that Terraview does a lot of that too. So we are hoping that kind of gets fine-tuned, and over the next couple of years can be like the replacement of having cluster counts done at all, because cluster counts don't tend to work very well. So I think that as like a wine industry family, even, we have the responsibility of showing people that it's possible to evolve and change, and that the way we did it yesterday isn't the way that we're necessarily going to do it tomorrow. So if we were stuck in the same spot, we wouldn't be evolving for the best or changing for the positives that are bound to happen in the future. And there's so many people that say like, oh, this is the way that we've always done it, and thinking like that is only going to cause more problems in the future. That's something that my dad has always kind of instilled in me as a farmer, is that there's always something new, and if you can't figure it out, we can do it together. Like, let's talk about it together. So I think that that's something that I've always felt is really important, to show others that there's always going to be a new way to do something, and that good ideas can really come from anywhere. So make sure you're listening to every person you work with, from the very bottom to the very top, because you really never know where the best idea is going to come from next. Um, Probably that if we all stick together, we will persevere. There's been challenging years, I think, for the wine communities in every country, but when the sense of community that we have, I think, helps to get us through. We all want what's best for everyone. If no one wine producer is creating the same wine, it's an art, right? Every single bottle is going to taste different regardless of what happens. So if we stick together and persevere through the hard times, I think that we will become stronger and have just such a beautiful future as a wine industry. So I'm excited, just seeing the sense of community from the fires, from everything that has gone wrong in California. I know that we have just such a great group of people in this industry, and it's inspiring. So keep up that, keep doing that.